Urika, please introduce yourself and tell us about your YCAP journey as a mentor.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a privilege to speak on behalf of the YCAP program today. As a mentor for the past 6 years, it has inspired me to reach personal heights and development through the program. Without the YCAP program, I would not be who I am today and what I stand for, my personal vision and goals. It gave me an opportunity to reach children behind a classroom. Sorry, I'm a bit emotional. When it comes to YCAP, it touches the strings of my heart because it's learners who are given that opportunity to go out there and say, I have a voice, please listen to what I have to say. And through this program, I have also developed my confidence and now also is a participant in the National Teacher Award, and it has taken me to also acquire the Influential Woman Award because of the work that I've been doing in YCAP. It was a stepping stone personally, and mentoring these learners coming from a school that's inside a sugarcane plantation and caters for approximately 1,200 at-risk learners, and taking the school from what it was before YCAP to what it has become now. It is an eye-opener and it is a living document. The YCAP is actually a living document, living and breathing document in my school, as the pictures reflect of the changes that we have made. So thank you once again for this opportunity, and I would love to share more through the program about our projects and how it has touched many learners' lives. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Urika.
I want you to go into detail about the Change Agent Award and how you put that together and what made you want to be part of it and why you're still there 6 years later, you're still doing YCAP.
Thank you for the question. The projects that I was going to come back to that my school, which is a primary school situated in KwaZulu-Natal, inside a sugarcane plantation. So this school is far away from the town, and we have a lot of challenges that we are faced every day because we have 1,200 learners, and approximately half of those learners are learners with barriers. So they are struggling, economically disadvantaged. They also have adding to their situation is their learning barriers. So the first project that we were doing was the anti-bullying box. In our community, it was rife with violence at schools. Teachers were getting hit, learners were running out of classrooms. There seemed to be a lack of discipline and a lack of control that was happening in our local high schools. So it obviously affects our primary schools because the primary school feeds the local high schools. So we decided at a primary school level, what can we do? What would YCAP do? What does YCAP tell us that we can use the toolkit to help us with this problem? And so we developed an anti-bullying box where learners had to anonymously use that box to put in the person that is threatening them or bullying them without fear in a primary school. And when we presented this to the local schools, they loved the idea. Something as simple as an anti-bullying box goes a great length to curb violence at schools. And it is something that starts off with us. So we went on with that project provincially. We were number one. We went on nationally, and KZN took the trophy for coming out first for that topic in primary school section. And then we also had recently where a grade R learner was knocked down on our school, on her way home from school, and she's one of the educators' child that was knocked down. And I remember the day, if Landile recalls, it was a Friday, and the teacher was actually carrying the child, the mother, bleeding and running and asking for help because she was knocked down, the roads were not safe. So YCAP again went into the situation, this challenge, and said, what would we do to curb this problem? So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, the problems are what we face in each of our communities today, and it differs, but it is something that is real and affects our children at school. So whether you're in a rural school, a Model C school, there are still challenges that the community is plagued with. And then we started the road safety campaign where we made a mascot, as you can see in the second picture. We made a mascot. We taught children about what it is to walk on which side of the road and the golden rule of the road, and take it from me. Learners that are in high school don't even know the golden rule of walking on the road. So we had to start off with primary school, and it becomes much more of an educational, impactful project. And that project is where Landile was talking about. She was not well, and we did come out second for that project. And then the third project obviously was because we have learners with learning barriers and it affects their mental health. Most of the time they're excluded from activities in the school because they struggle to speak, they struggle to understand, and they are left out. Irrespective of the policies that the Department of Education has put through, like the White Paper 6. So what we have done is we've created a chess mural at our school where learners with barriers get an opportunity to learn how to play chess. Who said rural children cannot learn how to play chess? Who said children with barriers cannot break the stigma? And definitely YCAP has stood in that place and said no, these children also have a right to learn. And through the YCAP program, we've actually drawn up the mural, and because we are a rural school and an at-risk school, we couldn't afford the chess beads. So what my team members and myself did, we took plastic bottles and we painted them and we cut them in the shape of a king and a queen. And mind you, it worked. The learners learned how to play chess, and learners that had barriers now we're making friends with children that did not. And that was one of the projects that we also excelled in. And recently it's our project of creating a sick room. At our school we don't have a sick room, and when learners are sick, they are left outside. We do not have the space to keep them. And most of the time they do end up getting more sick and more affected and stay absent for longer periods of time. So our team, Landile, and there's 3 more others that are in the team, we have decided to find a place and make the sick bay a possibility for our school, and even reach out for donations. And that's our project for 2026. And sorry, there's one more project, which is the Healthy Eating Tuck Shop, where at our schools, we said, why should we also, standing out from everybody else, why should our schools only sell chips and sweets to learners? Because their parents give them 5 rand. So is 5 rand worthy of them to have that unhealthy vitamin substances inside their body? So what we've decided to do is taking to effect that these are learners, they like sweet things. They look forward to a break, to have something sweet, to have days in the school calendar in a week, maybe 2 or 3 days, that we will only sell fruits. And we had little learners that were eating apples and nachos and affordable fruits for our school. And we've changed the whole mindset about healthy eating. And that project went up to national level. And again, KZN was #1 for that project. So again, it's not about winning for us. It's about the impact that we are making in our school. And I'm an advocate here, and it has, besides personally impacting on me and pushing me further into my studies, as I am now completing my master's in education under curriculum studies, through the change agent, because I've keep coming back, and I've also been promoted to the deputy principal at my school because of the impact the YCAP project has made on the learners' lives. But it's not about winning, it's about, as I said, the impact. Recently I met one of my learners, Mishle, who's in high school, grade 8, and she told me words that I can actually not forget. And she hugged me and she said, "Ma'am, thank you." And I said, "Why?" She said, "Through the YCAP project, I was so uncertain of what I was going to do. And everybody in my class doesn't know what they are going to study after school. But because I flew on the plane when I went up to nationals, I now am certain I want to become an air hostess." And she hugged me and she said she's the only one in her class that has figured her life out. And it is YCAP that is doing that. So through these projects, I keep coming back, and I keep coming back not because of winning and promotions and so on. I keep coming back because the project is, the YCAP program is bridging the gap between theory and practice. It gets the learners involved, and too often we keep learners confined to a classroom, and we say, because you're a learner, you don't have experience, you don't matter. But the YCAP project is there, a program is there to say you matter, you have a voice, and even if your voice shakes, speak up for what is right and make the difference. And therefore I entered the YCAP change agent. Although I did not take #1, I'm so glad I took #2 position, where I'm completing my studies this year on project management. where I want to use it to get funding for my school, so that I can make my school a better environment for the children that find themselves in it, because most of them come from informal settlements, and the school is the only place that can provide a place of light, sunshine, color, and that's what I want to create. And this is what the YCAP is about. It is about telling the world that it's a beautiful thing to believe in a child.
Thank you.